Uh, Hi, everybody. Oh, there you are down there. I have two cameras here. I have this camera right there, this camera right here, and I have that camera right there. So I have a picture-in-picture. I actually had the window blinds closed to make, to darken the background, so I didn't have this white, glare coming over my shoulders. Uh, See how it affects the white balance of the camera. Anyway, so here I am, like, getting distracted because that's what I do. I'm finishing up this Jack Skellington. Where's the camera? Right there. The Jack Skellington face that I've been working on, and I was adding wax around the eye sockets. I have a little template that I put in there because the eye sockets weren't right, and got them, the right size and everything and where they should be. And so that's what I was doing yesterday or the day before. I can't remember. I think actually yesterday was a washout. So it was the day before. It was Thursday. Today's Saturday. Anyway, so I wanted to get it done yesterday, but I ended up having to run a bunch of errands and stuff. And my wife and I are getting ready to go on a long overdue. There you are. A long overdue vacation. We haven't had a vacation in 13 years. I mean, a real vacation. So, we're heading out to Kauai in like 3 days, 4 days, whatever. I think it's 3 days. What's today? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, so Tuesday, really. And we're gonna go out and just freaking relax and just get away from Southern California. And which is funny because my sister sent me a video today. She lives in Kauai. That's where we're going. And the video is like trees bending. She goes, they got 70-mile-an-hour winds, and it's cold. In Kauai, it's cold. I'm like, why did we choose to go to Kauai in the winter? And she goes, yeah, why did you guys choose winter? You should come in the summertime when it's warm. There's no such thing as climate change, right? There's no such thing as climate change. So, because she said, 13 years ago, they didn't have weather like this. She goes, it was always warm there. It's tropical. It's supposed to be tropical. And they actually have cold weather. At night, it gets down into the low 50s. Low 50s. I keep looking at the screen because I've got myself up on the computer screen here. So, yeah, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. Anyway, so I'm working on Jack Skellington here. And now that I digressed enough. And so I'm going to pull some wax off of this dental tool here, and I'm going to drop some little pieces of wax, as you can see, dropping on the desk here. And what we do is you roll them so they fall apart. The little pieces of wax come apart. And you have these little chips. They're like little microchips. They're microchips. They're microchips of wax, and I'll pick them up with my Curlab Ultra Waxer dental wax pen, or jeweler's wax pen. Jewelers use them. Dental labs use them. I was an extended duties dental assistant back in the late 70s, early 80s. And so some of my dental tools are actually dental tools that this one dentist that I worked for in southern Arizona, I worked for this dentist in a little copper mining town called Bisbee, Arizona, back in 79, 80, 81, 82, and I think, 81, 82. So it's 3 years, something like that. It's about 3 years that I did that. And, and it was an interesting experience. It was fun. Sometimes it was fun, and sometimes it was a nightmare. It just depends on what was going on, with people's teeth, with people's mouths, that sort of thing. Okay, I need to put on these magnifying lenses, because I can't see what I'm doing here. So you're not going to see my face. Well, there you are. You're not going to see my face too well. But you can hear me chit-chat. And get some stuff going here. Let's get this thing going. So I'm just building up inside the building wax up inside the eye sockets. And let's get this baby done, darn it. This is the last one. I did 12 faces, the 12 faces of Jack Skellington. You know, like the 12, I guess it's supposed to be like the 12 days of Christmas. The 12 faces of Jack Skellington. And, you know, just a fun little project. Is that? It's almost done. Have a client who asked me to do this for them because they collect stuff from Disney movies, and they couldn't find it online, and they couldn't find it online for the price that they wanted too, so it's hard to find this character, especially in a customized format. So darn it, there's a hair right there. Get these little micro hairs. Where's the tweezers? There they are. Look at these. There you are. Super fine tweezers. Where's the hair? Did I get it? I did. I did get it. You know, I can see it, but it's like, you're not going to see it. No one else is going to see it. It's a combination of, will it affect the mold making process, and is it just bothering me? And it's probably just has more to do with the fact that it's bothering me that I can see it. Because my wife and I, we have 2 cats, and there's cat hair everywhere. You can vacuum and clean all you want, you're still going to have cat hair. I guess that's probably like with dogs as well. We're not allowed to have dogs where we live because we live in an apartment complex, and some places do, but it certainly costs you a lot more money to live there, that's for sure. I can live fairly nicely without pets, but my wife is a cat person, so, and I grew up with cats and dogs and ducks and rattlesnakes and horses and tarantulas and lizards and all kinds of animals, so ravens, crows, whatever, crows I think, and had a pet crow when I was a kid. Found it, discovered it after a big monsoon, a big rainstorm. I lived in southern Arizona, where I said, when I was a kid, and you know, I love to go out after rainstorms because, first of all, I'd love to go watch the flash floods and stuff. You know, no, I didn't try to swim in them. You know, we were well versed in the fact that flash floods can kill you, but not like some people, I guess. But you could always find really cool things washed down the arroyos, these little mud canyons. And one time I came across this squawking little pink little bird, which I didn't know what it was at first, what kind of bird it was, except it did have a big beak, which was probably sort of a giveaway, but I was a kid, so I wasn't totally sure what kind of bird it was. And I didn't know if it was going to live or not, but I swaddled it up, you know, I wrapped it up in my hands and tried to keep it warm because it was, you know, a little chilly after the rain, the wet, you know, everything. And either the storm blew it out of its nest, or it got kicked out of its nest by one of its siblings, or a sibling or something, because, you know, birds don't do that. Survival of the fittest. Strongest one pushes out the weakest one. Anyway, I took this beautiful little bird, little baby, no feathers, just pink little raven, and or crow, whatever it was, and took it home. I was like, Mom, I found a baby bird. I think it's a raven or a crow. She's like, you know, she was used to us kids bringing home wild animals and bringing them back to life. And I did. Fed him canned dog food. Got him nice soft canned dog food, and fed him by hand. And he, imprinted on me. And he became my buddy. He was like my buddy. And I named him Edgar, after Edgar Allan Poe from The Raven. And yeah, he was a cool bird. And I never clipped his feathers. And I taught him to eat roadkill. I took him out into the, not just on the roads, but I took him out into the desert and would look for, relatively recent, animals, birds, anything that had recently died, and would show him that stuff so that he, would eat. And he started learning to eat roadkill and other carrion. And like I said, I never clipped his wings, so he would take off, and he'd be gone. As he got older, he would take off for a few days, and a day or two, and he'd come back, and because I was still feeding him, but eventually he disappeared and didn't come back for a year or more, months anyway. My mom and my sisters and I moved from the property we lived at, and we never saw him again. But the guy that bought the house that we had, this little ranchette, whatever we had down in Bisbee Junction, he said he was sitting at his dining table, and he had the back door of the house open, and he was cleaning some of his guns, because he was a gun guy. This doesn't have a bad ending, don't worry. He's cleaning his guns, and he says this raven flies into his door, flies in through the door, and lands on the table, and walks around squawking at him, looks at him, and he goes, I guess the bird didn't recognize me, or something. He looked like he was talking to me. And he said then when the bird realized that he, that whoever he was there to, visit, which was us, he realized that he just flew out the door and was gone, and he never saw him again. Cool story. So yeah, and thank goodness he didn't shoot him. Not everybody with guns shoots animals. It's, but you never know. He seemed like a nice guy. So, where are we? I don't even know if you can see what I'm doing here. So I'm filling these eye sockets. See if I can do this and allow you to see what I'm doing here. It's kind of hard for me from this position, though, so I probably won't stay in this position, because it's not conducive to easy sculpting. Or maybe I should say I'm just waxing right now. Wax on, wax off. Okay. Yeah, I'm not very talkative. I should be talking. I actually noticed that I'm a lot more tired. I tend to get a lot more tired by the time that I'm done, I'm finished recording a video, and if I've been talking the whole time, I'm exhausted at the end. You people think being an entertainer is easy. It's not. It's exhausting work. It's hard work. Come on, pick that baby up right there and put that on there. Come on, get that wax. Come on, you can do it. All right, folks. Okay. Got a big hole there to fill. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to, there you are down there. Camera's on the table. It's on the base of the table, sitting on my keyboard. There we go. Let's hit the quick heat button here. Excuse me. I'm drinking my mocha. I make mocha sometimes in the mornings. Well, actually, my wife made coffee, and this morning, gotta mix it up because it's cold now. Put my top up there. Excuse me, ma'am, excuse me. Ooh. Tokyo Hands, Creative Life Store, Tokyo, Japan. Well, Kyoto. I lived in Kyoto. I've traveled to Tokyo quite a few times. My first wife was Japanese, and so I traveled to Japan a lot. My kids go there. I think they try to get there once a year to visit their mom and relatives and stuff. People. Don't know if I'd want to go to Japan now, though, after Fukushima. Things ain't too pretty there. All right. Not that anybody wants to talk about it. All right, so just I'm blocking. I mean, I got the wax and I'm blocking the. What I'm doing is I'm using this. Where are you there? I'm using this piece, this tip that's thicker. Let me see if we can do it right. Yeah, see it there? Putting my finger behind it so you can see how thick that metal is. And this one, I use this tip when I want to pick up a lot more wax and fill something quickly, because there's a deep, there's a deep section of this eye socket here. Let's see, where are we? We're right there. So you can't see in there because it's shadow, it's too dark, but there's a deep hole in there, and I'm filling that, that part of the eye socket up. And the other tip that I'm using, that I was using, it is really thin. See, it's like a little needle. I sharpened it down to a needle point for picking up little tiny pieces of wax and just doing really fine detail work. And excuse me, wow, this stuff, the coffee, the mocha's coming back on me. So I'm filling this hole in. There you are. I'm filling this hole in. And just want to get it done quickly. Get the wax in there. Fill it up. Just get these suckers done, man. This is the last face. Oh, I dripped on the face. Look at that. I dripped. There it is, right there. Did a little drip. But the nice thing is it'll come right off. It just falls right off. That's the nice thing about wax is it doesn't stick to itself unless you pick it up with the wax pen, and then on a molecular level, I guess it's molecular, I would assume, the heat bonds the molecules together, right? But if the wax hits wax while it's falling through the air, it cools off just enough in that microsecond, that fraction of a second before it touches anything, that it doesn't bond. So I can just take it right off. Yep, that's right, folks. I can just take it right off there. No big deal. Let's see. Okay. I gotta fill the back of the eye socket up here. It's probably a little too. I gotta do it to the other eye too, but they're just a little too deep. They don't need to be as deep as they are. I mean, it wasn't. I didn't plan that. Like, oh, they need to be really deep. It's just that they were, and now I'm only just now getting to the. I'm at that point where I can fill it up, and make it so it's not so deep. Okay. Hairs in the wax. Hair's looking at you, babe. A little bit more right here. A little more right there. After many years of sculpting in wax, sculpting in general, you can just, from experience, you can just see sometimes really, really subtle little little spots where the light hits it, where you go, oh, gotta fill it in there. That's looking pretty good. And once I get the tool in there to wipe off that talc from the wax builds up on the tool, and then it starts getting gooey and gummy. That's pretty good. Now let's take a look at the other one. Yeah, the other one's deep. Alright, so we're going to go in there. Alright, let's see, where are we at here? Let's see, can you see what I'm doing? Is it out of focus? Should I move my wax over there? Do I need to sit sideways? Is that what I need to do in order for you to see what I'm doing? It's kind of hard. It's hard for you to see what I'm doing. I gotta put the wax somewhere because I gotta grab it quickly. And, I'm getting little bits of wax off on me here. Let's see. Yeah, still need to. Ah, you little. Alright, I'm just grabbing too much wax. I'm getting, because I'm lazy, I'm like, I want to get this done. Yesterday, like I said, yesterday was a total bust. Choking on my spit here because I got my neck so folded up here, staring down into this wax sculpt here, this wax figurine. It's not too bad. It's looking pretty good. This talc though, the talc and the wax builds up and it's a mess. I have these really bright lights here on my desk and I still can't see that well. It's not exactly shining exactly where I want it, but they don't fit on my desk that well. How's that compared to that? It's not too bad. I see a couple spots where it looks a little pinched. It's not too bad. Just take that right off and melt it back onto the wax again, wax slab. There's a percentage of it when you do it, but whatever. Okay, so now, oh, I don't have my reference up here. I need to get my reference. Let's see. Let's take a look. Oh, it's not up there. Let's see. Let's look in this file here. Let's go to projects. Let's go to maquettes. Let's go to Disney. Let's go to Nightmare Before Christmas. And lo and behold, let's see. I think this is the one we want right here. Face number 12. Open. Yeah, he's got, and I've got to build up his eyebrows and stuff too. So before I do that, I'm going to scrape everything back down. I got to build up his nose, but I got to take his eye sockets and get all that cleaned up and get that smooth first. Then build up the scowling, build up the scowling, you know, thick eyebrow over his eyes, and then we should be good. Doesn't look too bad. Well, for right now, let's just fill up all these little little gaps. I'm gonna most likely just scrape all that clay that wax right off. But it's better to have it on there and remove it than to have to come back in and fill it in and then screw up part of the, all that work that I just finished doing. So what I'm doing right now is I'm hitting the wax here on the face to soften it, make it warm. It'll and that way the stuff that I'm going to fill it in with will bond to it a little bit easier. It's less work for me. Like I said, though, I'm going to just scrape all that wax right off again. But better safe than sorry, as I will say. Okay. All right. Okay. And do I keep saying okay? Yeah, sure you do. Let's do that one too, right there. Okay, and then grab some wax and run some wax across that right there. Hey. Okay. I suck. It's not perfect. It's not perfect? No, it is not perfect. But okay. I'm gonna put my other glasses on here. Gonna put on my other glasses so I can see the screen over there. Okay, so he's got the. I'm not gonna worry about that. His mouth. It's not the greatest reference either. It's all right, but I don't have the greatest reference. There we go. Is it 4? Yeah, it's 4. And then what's cool is I can enlarge the. Reference picture on my screen to the correct size for what I'm sculpting at, and I can just hold my sculpture right up there on the screen and go, yep, I got the diameter right, I got the width of his mouth, everything looks good. Excuse me. So that being said, as one of my ex-employers used to say a lot, which partially I think he did it for entertainment value while we were discussing projects that we were working on, and also just because he always just said it, right? It was part of his repertoire. Repertoire. I can't even say it. Darn it! I can't speak French very well. Okay, so for now, let's do a little foam scraping here. We're gonna scrape foam. Did I just say foam? It's because I was thinking of foam today, because I used to sculpt in foam. Let's sculpt some wax. Isn't it wonderful that, yeah, there you are. Isn't it wonderful that you can not see me? You're just seeing the top of my head. Yeah, so all the stuff that I just put on, now I'm going to take off, but that's how it works in the sculpting world. You add and subtract, add and subtract, add and subtract. If it's wood, you don't do that generally. unless you really screw something up or something happens that you're forced to put some wood in there, which is, it's not impossible to do. You can, excuse me, you can do it. Great, I just got wax in my mouth. Yay! Well, at least it's, a lot of it is carnauba wax, which is used in chocolate and stuff like that. Food grade wax. It's edible. I don't know about the ingredients in the oil paint that I use to tint the wax, though. I have no idea. Don't ask me. Although we should read ingredients on everything that we eat, right? No point in eating highly processed foods or processed foods. Minimally processed is what you want to do. Eat natural. This is a delicious wax sculpture. It's minimally processed for your consumption and enjoyment. Sorry you can't see what I'm doing. I know I'm not showing you what I'm doing because I'm blocking it with my hands. There you are. You're down there. There I am right there. There I am over there. I'm looking at myself on the screen, but I'm trying to, I use the screen to kind of figure out where I'm at. You can't see what I'm doing. And I don't know. I don't have the. I don't know how to. First of all, I don't have a good video editing program, so I usually just upload the video raw without any editing on there. So you get the part of me burping and picking my nose and getting caught saying colorful language. No, I'm trying not to do that. I try to keep the language clean here. Yeah, okay. Well, I just want to say hello to everybody out there who is tuned in, who tune into my videos. This is not a live video. This is it's a recorded video, pre-recorded. But I want to thank you for those of you who take the time to tune in and watch my videos here. Let me show you the face where I'm at. Where is it? There's the camera right there. There's Jack Skellington, face number 12. Okay, so it's getting there. You see the eye sockets. I'm like looking at the screen here. So there, is it blurry? No, this way. There we go. So there's an edge to the eye sockets. They're going to be softened up. Everything's going to be softened up. I'm going to soften it all up. Same with the lips and everything. There's going to be like a little. I raise up the lips, the edge of the lips a little bit. Like real lips. But Jack Skellington's lips are very subtle in that they're not real thick or anything like that. They're cracked. They have these cracks in them. So I go in and I gotta go inside the eye sockets and let's see, how's that looking? I guess that's pretty good. Look around the edges, just make sure everything is. And I literally I'm scraping the wax with this tool, feather touch. I'm barely holding onto the tool. I'm just being very gentle, and I'm crisscrossing. I'm what they call cross-hatching, to get the different planes. That's how you get something, you'll get the surface smooth and down, get any lumps out of it that you want, but you can't keep pulling in one direction or you'll get these little planes. So it's constantly just moving the tool around. And look, Jack Skellington upside down. All right, so where am I at? Okay, I'm wondering. I gotta build up the. I gotta get some more wax off of here, and I gotta build up these lips and kind of square them up a little bit first. They're gonna get rounded off, but in order to round them off evenly and cleanly, you really want the entire piece. You want everything to be. You want it all to be square. You want to start out with sharp edges and stuff. I mean, that's just how I work anyway. It makes it easier for when I'm running tools over it. I think there's other sculptors out there probably would agree with that, and there are others who have their own way that they hack something, the way they work on it, and it works out. I've seen people like that who they just have their own system that you go, wow, I couldn't do that. But everybody has their system, everybody has their way of doing things, and there's no such thing as a right or wrong way to do it. If you still get the end at the end, if your end result is what you wanted and it looks beautiful, and it looks the same as mine. Let's say you're doing the same thing as me, but you have a completely different way of doing it. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as you get to the same end result. When I was art directing projects, I've worked with people where I was art directing other people, and I've had people come up to me after a job was over or whatever, and they'd say, I want to work with you again. I want to, if you have any jobs or any projects, I want to work for you because you made it so easy for me to do my job. And I look at it like, well, first of all, there are hundreds of thousands, millions of really talented people all over the world. I've worked in the entertainment industry for a little over 35 years. Using the word entertainment industry relatively loosely, because I've worked in everything from theme parks to puppeteering to feature films, television shows, and anything I've missed. But if you can put the word entertainment on it, I've probably worked in it. And anyway, yeah, I've worked with a lot of people who've said they wanted to work with me or work for me again, because I look at people for who they are and what their talents are and everything, and they're not 8-year-olds. There might be people out there that are mentally or psychologically 8 years old, but I haven't worked with too many people like that. But you're working with professionals, so you give a professional courtesy and you give them the respect that they deserve. And if you're the art director or if you're a production designer or whatever it is, and you're working with a team of people, you give them the leeway to get their job done. You don't hang over them like a vulture and pick on every little thing that they're working on. You balance it all out. You look at what they're doing and checking it. If you see them starting to go off in some crazy direction, then obviously you stop them and you have a meeting and you fix it. But I've rarely had that kind of a problem, with people. And so I see people, go, I've had people come up to me with blueprints for something and go, or art or illustrations of something and say, I need to sculpt this. What do you want me to do? I say, well, you've got the drawings, you've got the artwork. Go for it. Just do it, man. Go for it, and I'll check in on you. And sometimes I won't check in on them for 2 or 3 days or 4 days or whatever, depending on what the needs are and where I need to be, overlooking different people in different departments and stuff. And I'd come back and see what they're doing and go, that looks great. And they're like, really? Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, keep going, whatever. It's like, don't get in their way if you don't have to. Don't get in people's way. And don't try to own what they're doing either. If somebody's working on something, it's their baby. It doesn't mean like if there's obviously you're on a production where the production, it's owned by a production company. What you're working on is owned by them. It's their property. But when you're working on something, you've got 30, 40, 50 different people working on different parts of a project, and you have to oversee them, but you also have to give them the leeway to get their job done. You don't take credit for what they're doing. You can take credit for helping guide them and manage them, but you don't take credit for what they are sculpting, what they are painting, what they are doing, miniatures, whatever the part of the project is that they're doing. Give everyone their due. And I think that's why I've had people always say they want to come back and work with me, because I don't try to own other people's stuff. If I did it, I'll say I did it. And if somebody else did it, I say somebody else did it. Or if I worked on something with somebody, in a cooperative way where we both worked on it, then I say, I worked on this with so-and-so. And I'll even be very specific and say, this person did this, and this, and this, or they did this whole thing, and all I did was this tiny little part here. Because it doesn't matter, you just have to be respectful of other people. And give credit where credit is due. It's not that hard to do. And it only reflects better on yourself when you do that, because then you make people happy and they respect you more. I have worked with people in the past. Way back in the 80s, I've seen people that try to take credit for something, whether it was something I did or just something other people did. And you go, and like you'll see somebody's portfolio and you go, oh, what's that picture? What are those pictures doing in that portfolio? That person didn't do those, didn't create that. They didn't sculpt that, or they didn't paint it, or that illustration isn't theirs. If you don't have the talent, if you seriously don't have the talent, then you shouldn't be doing it. But you shouldn't be stealing other people's, trying to take credit for other people's work. It reflects very badly. And in the entertainment industry, it's a relatively small industry, in the sense of, everybody, lots of people know people. I don't know everybody in the entertainment industry, but it is 6 degrees of separation. And what if I go in and do an interview with somebody, and I've borrowed somebody else's works, and put it in my portfolio, because I know that the job that I'm applying for is something that maybe I haven't done. Maybe I know I can do it, but maybe it's something I've never done before, but I know somebody else who's worked on something similar, and so I borrow some artwork I find online or whatever. You're going to get caught. You can't do that kind of stuff. You're going to get in trouble. Or you're just not going to get the work, and people are just going to laugh at you behind your back. They're going to feel sorry for you in some cases. Like, seriously, if you don't have the talent to do that, or if you don't believe in yourself, maybe you have the talent, but you just don't believe in yourself, and you still use other people's stuff. It's, you're not doing yourself a favor. So just stay away from trying to take credit for other people's stuff, and do your own thing and practice. It's really what it comes down to, is just get good at what it is that you want to do, and you'll get the work. So I don't even know if you can see it that well, but this is not a super high definition camera. One of these days, when I get some money, I'll get a really nice high definition camera, 4K, whatever, stream 4K. That'd be cool. And then you can really see this in detail. Okay. Interesting. Build up this edge of this lip right here. Break up that wax. Get it onto the figurine. There we go. Okay. Excuse me. Excuse me. It's pretty good. Not too bad. It's not too bad. It's a big blob of wax. It's just a little too big. Yeah, that's just too big, baby. Okay. Come on. I got it? It's not too bad, actually. I mean, I can be a little bit, over the top sometimes. Okay, so just take my little loop tool here and just gently pull the wax in. If you pull it down towards the mouth, you could possibly chip it. So you pull in. Excuse me. Yeah, you just pull in, and you can once you've got the majority, the main lip of wax, that blob of wax off, then you can pull down towards the mouth, because then there's nothing there for it to grab onto and chip. Anyway, again, I want to say thank you to everybody out there in the world, wherever you are, Europe, Russia, Japan, any of the African countries, the Netherlands. I know there's some people who have followed me from Holland, Denmark, Norway, Finland, Sweden. I've met a few people out there. I haven't been out there, but I mean, I've met people commented and sent me emails just to say hello, which is nice. I would love to go to the Scandinavian countries, Denmark, Finland, Norway, Sweden. I'd also like to go to Australia and New Zealand. I've been to Japan, Thailand, South Korea. I love to travel. It's just having the money to travel. It's really important to go to other countries and learn about other cultures, because Americans tend to be a bit isolated politically and just historically. We a lot of Americans just aren't that educated about other countries, and then we get too caught up in our own a little arrogant sometimes about how great we think we are. But in America, United States of the Americas, you know, when we have a good government, whenever that is, it can be a good thing, you know. But it's good to just be open and respectful and willing to learn, keep an open mind, and respect other people's opinions about things and respect other cultures. You know, most other countries have much longer histories than the United States. The United States is an extremely young country, very young country compared to most. So it behooves us to be as polite and respectful to other countries as we can. And that's one of the reasons why I love to go to visit a lot of the European countries and China, and just to go look at, just to learn about the history and the culture. There's so much art, you know, beautiful classic art, architecture, structures, you know, just so much more stuff out there in the world. It's beyond anything that we've really done here in the United States. Little calipers. Hey, homemade calipers made out of I think it's just out of an old wire hanger. You just sharpen the tips on them. Right, there you are. You can see that. Let me see. Right there. There you go. You see that? How sharp they are? Pointed. There you go. Right there. Yeah, I just, you know, when it's straight, when the wire's straight, you know, I just file them down to points, and they're just little, easy little wire calipers. Very basic, real simple. You know, so I can sit here and measure. That looks good. That looks good. Very close. Let's see here. Yeah. I need to add a little wax, I can see, to the top of this, his right eye socket. Let's get this piece here. Okay, and this video is getting pretty long. It's probably close to an hour probably now, if not more, so I gotta wrap it up here. Okay. Get that out of the way. This is a little better. And then the other one, there's these little divots. Yeah, it's still there. There you go. Yeah. Okay. And then let's get some wax inside. Much better. Okay, let's put this tool back over here so I don't burn myself on it. I cannot believe how burned out I am. I worked on this for, I've only been working on this for, total of maybe an hour and a half or so today. And I think also the fact that this is probably squeezing the blood out of my head. No. There you are, right there. And, yeah, it's just exhausting, man. It shouldn't be. Again, I have to do these little cross hatches and get this thing to try to make it look as even as possible. Okay. Blow the wax on the floor so I can vacuum it up. Much easier to clean it up that way. It's pretty good. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Now let's go to the other eye socket. Just keep cross hatching, go back and forth. I don't dig in and make, like a little trough in an area or a dip in an area that I'd have to go back in and refill. So you just cross hatch, keep going back and forth to make it even. Look for the spots where any area or edge looks like it's flat or straight. You don't want any straight lines. No straight lines unless you're working on, something architectural. Figures and stuff everything should always be curves. Even if it's a subtle curve. Just looks better. There's a time and a place for ZBrush, Mudbox, Maya, whatever. There's all these different digital sculpting programs. Sculpting something digitally and then printing it out on a 3D printer. That's great, but it has its applications, obviously. But don't lose sight of sculpting things by hand. Traditionally, there's more personality in it. And that doesn't mean that you can't use, let's say, a program like ZBrush with your own custom-made tools, sculpting tools, in the program that allow you to make your sculpture look like it's sculpted out of clay with tool marks and all that. That's fine too. I've seen some really amazing stuff, but holding something in your hand and actually sculpting it, there's just a visceral feel, a visceralness of having that, having the art, having the actual piece in your hand, and knowing that you sculpted it. I love digital tools, and I admit I need to get better at the ZBrush, but and I've said it before, there's just nothing like sculpting something by hand. It's just a wonderful feeling. And I know there's still a lot of artists out there, even artists that are younger than me, that sculpt, that would agree with me. You know, some who probably are both digital sculptors as well as traditional sculptors. You know, who work in wax and clay and wood and other materials, metal. Much better. Much better. That looks great. Alright. I said it looks great, but I'm not showing it to you. Here, let's... How close can we get while and have it still in focus? So you can see there's... I just scraped it with my fingernail. Let's see. Here's some triple lot steel wool. Clean the mouth out. And I just go over the figurine, that piece of the wax with the steel wool, and just buff out the tool marks on here. It's not too hard to do. It works. I'm pushing pretty hard, actually, you know. Boy, and it leaves a lot of metal dust, so it basically contaminates all my wax. If there's, I can't save any of the wax on the table. Like a lot of times I'll clean the wax off the table and save it and put it back into a container, because I'm kind of one of those, you know, my Irish grandmother, my mother's mother, who was from Dublin, Ireland, you know, she used to have that saying, waste not, want not. And then when you grow up poor, potato famine and that sort of thing, and you come to the United States to make a better life for yourself, you just know what it means not to waste anything. So, but this is, like right now, this is the year 2019, and there is famine and you know, people who are suffering in the world, and you have to remain aware of that. At the same time, you still have to live for yourself and take care of yourself and your family, and make sure that they're well enough and taken care of enough so that you can make enough money to, you know, tithe, right? To share with other people in the world your, you know, what you are benefiting from, which is other people, because we all benefit from each other. You know, if you're stingy and you're not, excuse me, if you're stingy and you're not sharing some of what you make, you don't have to share, you don't have to give away everything you have, but, you know, if you have more than a lot of other people, it's always nice to give them a little something to help out, you know. You know, even if it's just your time, even if you're just volunteering for something. And I admit, I don't do a lot of volunteer stuff because I generally don't always have the time. But sometimes when I get money, I have a little extra money, I always donate something to a cause. I have constantly been supporting Doctors Without Borders. I don't know how to pronounce it in the French. It's a French NGO, but I think it's pretty much international now. And I donate to them all the time, but I do it in a really cool way, which is through SurveyMonkey. And I think I got an email from them congratulating me because I had raised $400 in the last 3 years for Doctors Without Borders, from just taking surveys. I mean, you know, 1 minute here, 30 seconds there, 4 minutes there, whatever. These surveys, right? I just take these surveys, and I don't get any money for it, but I picked Doctors Without Borders because I like what they do, you know. and so they're, they can go into war zones and wherever in the world and help people, help victims and wherever it is. It could be people in North Korea who are losing their eyesight because of malnutrition and stuff, we're going blind. So, okay, so here it is. Is that, oh, it's focused. Wow, that's impressive. So I still have to put on the scowling eyebrows, up in here. I have to put the scowling eyebrows on. I need to build up the lips. I need to build up the lips just enough, just a little tiny, ledge, bolded up like a lip, and I got to put the teeth in. It'll be done. I'll have it done. I was hoping to have it done yesterday. I was then hoping to have it done today, but I am so tired. I can't even tell you how tired I am. I'm really looking forward to this vacation. And my sister, like I said, my sister sent a video of how windy and stormy it is in Kauai. So we'll see how nice it is to vacation in Kauai in the wintertime. So I'm going to put all my tools away. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I love you all. I appreciate your support. You can find me on Facebook. I think it's Blaise Gauba, artist, illustrator, sculptor, whatever. Blaise Gauba Sculptor or something like that. Funny, it's funny how you can have a Facebook page or a YouTube channel and not remember what the heck the name of the channel is. I'm actually on Facebook. I'm doing a contest right now because I'm renaming my YouTube channel, and I'm changing the I temporarily changed the banner for my channel actually today, and this video hasn't been posted yet, but it'll be posted hopefully sometime tonight, unedited most likely, because I gotta find a good video editing program. But I'll get that up there. I have this contest. You can go to my Facebook page and read my little blurb. I'm asking for help to rename my YouTube channel. My name is my brand, so my name needs to be in it, but I need to keep it short and sweet, but attractive, something fun, relating to what I do, which is art, not just necessarily just sculpting. That's the thing, is I do lots of different stuff, but and who's ever go read the blurb on my Facebook page. I'll put a link at the bottom of the video down there in the show more section. I'll try to remember that actually, and go to the page and read the blurb, because if I choose someone's suggestion, idea for a title for my new YouTube channel, for changing the YouTube, the title of my YouTube channel, I will send you a one of my old solid bronze castings, these little collectibles. I have little animals and creatures and things like that. I have like all kinds of cool stuff, skulls. I have a few things still left in a box from a few years ago when I was trying to make a living with doing bronze collectibles, little miniature bronze collectibles. But go read the blurb on my Facebook page, and if you want to get in on the contest, just send your suggestions to me, and if I like what I hear and I choose and I use it, if I decide to use your suggestion, you will win a bronze collectible from me, and I'll mail it to you, and you can put it on your shelf and say, wow, Blaise Gauba sculpted that. So, but yeah, I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you giving me the time of day. Thank you for supporting me as an artist. It keeps me from having to get a job in a cubicle somewhere. So I thank you, and my wife thanks you, my family. And the cats thank you. The cats thank you. So thank you, and I think I'll end this right now. I'm going to go over to my OBS studio here, and I'm going to stop recording. I will say adios, adios, vamos con Dios, sayonara, mata ato de, ciao. I don't know any other languages to say goodbye in. I got to look those up. Okay, everybody. See you later. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Like my videos if you like them, or thumbs up or thumbs down. Thumbs up or thumbs down, doesn't matter. If you think I'm... if my videos are that bad, go ahead, give it a thumbs down. It doesn't matter. I take all kinds of criticism. And share my videos. Get them out there. Help me get them out there, because I don't have a lot of views. And, my videos are long, and I ramble like I'm doing right now. But, you get what you pay for, right? Hey, it's free. So, all right, you guys. I'll talk to you later. Love you, and peace on earth. That's what I say. Peace on earth, all of you. Namaste. Bye.